You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes. I am your host, Matt Burns, and welcome to The Burning Truth this week. And as you may have guessed, I haven't got a fellow colleague with me this week, which is I am missing John Ballore. Unfortunately, the reason why John Ballore isn't here this week is due to illness, and unfortunately, when I actually tried to have a conversation with him earlier, unfortunately, he was unable to really speak as much, and as such is currently resting his vocal cords and hopefully getting himself better. So if you could all just please just have a bit of, feel a bit of sympathy for John Ballore, who is currently under the weather. However, hopefully he should be back with us next week as part of the regular scheduled programming. And of course, but because John isn't here this week, this could be a shorter than normal episode, as instead of it being more of a conversation between two colleagues, it's more or less of me putting on my view, and we could end up rediscussing some of these topics that I actually covered this week next week, to hear John Ballore's own views as well, just to give a bit of a heads up in regards to a little bit of next week. Also, I would like to apologise on behalf of The Burning Truth in regards to last week's episode. Some of you that are probably listening may or may not know that there wasn't an episode that actually happened last week now, and there was no message in regards to it. Now, unfortunately, the reason being it didn't go ahead is because, one, there was some massive technical issues that were currently plaguing systems, and upon top of that, there were many issues with time scheduling and trying to fit a lot of things around. As just to state, one of the reasons being that I was actually at FCW and unfortunately was unable to reschedule and basically get a message out to everybody. And I can honestly state this is no one's fault except for my own, so I will put my hands up and state I do apologise for not getting in touch sooner and not stating any reasons why there wasn't an episode, or the fact that there was no indication if there would be any, anything, there was no update in regards to it. It was due to busy scheduling and also trying to get certain equipment working and functioning correctly again. So that is one of the reasons why there was no explanation, and the fact that last week we couldn't have done it due to me being at FCW, which I will just state was an absolute creditable show. Definitely one that if you were there, you would know why I was there. If you weren't, where were you? And because it was an absolute fantastic, absolute stellar show, one that I would recommend anybody attending to any FCW shows. And I had the pleasure of actually doing the commentary on, for FCW with Stephen Keane. Now, on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, I just thought I'd just mention, absolute fantastic show FCW was, and I'll just get on to what we are here for, which is wrestling. Now, instead of doing the usual topic of we're discussing Raw, SmackDown, and other stuff with just being myself, I just thought I'd just cover some topics that I've got a bit of a catch up on, and basically just put my own my own views on it and everything. Which one of the major talking points? One of a point I wanted to bring up, which was Kevin Owens, Big O, as he was known a few weeks ago. Now, what I thought was so interesting, I actually thought that the whole dynamic of Kevin Owens turning on New Day, or more so on Kofi Kingston, yes, I can actually see why it's been done, in regards to the fact that they were trying to create a new enemy, a new foe, creating, more, animosity for SmackDown, trying to get more villainous stars to be able to, credible villainous stars to be able to take on Kofi, who is the current WWE champion. Couldn't have picked a better person to consider as the new villain role. However, I thought it was a bit too soon, especially with the fact that he's come back, was smiling faces and everything, and then it just feels a bit rushed, though, because I would have liked to have seen Kevin Owens to have kept this face going a little bit longer, because when I actually watched it the first time around, as I've stated previously, probably a few weeks ago, it reminded me of Kevin Steen when he was at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla as part of, the Mount Rushmore, being involved with the Young Bucks and everything, where he was actually having fun and having a great time. But, unfortunately, it seems like they need to establish some villains. However, one person I would have considered instead of Kevin Owens straight away, possibly a certain Scottish psychopath, possibly, if he had moved to SmackDown, maybe. But we digress. Interesting. It's just interesting to see the fact that they're turning, but he seems to have got his his edge back, a bit of his malice, from previous, you don't respect me, he's there for the title, he's doing this for his family, still, as always, and I look forward to seeing where this goes and where this continues to grow. Now, another point I wanted to bring up for this week was Bray Wyatt. Now, last week, if I was on the air last week, I probably could not have given you a straight answer or thought in regards to it, because I was completely thrown off, completely baffled, wondering what the hell's going on. Are they giving him the Kirby White treatment? Now, at first glance, it was shock. It was always like, what have they done? You just got rid of the Eater of Worlds, the mist of the gimmick and everything. And I thought to myself, no, I don't like it. But then again, because I've had that extra time, and I've been able to look back at it, I feel as though, yeah, I can see where they're going with this. The fact that they're referencing past gimmicks, you've got Leighton Buzzard, Abby, or as in short for Abigail, It's interesting what they're doing with it. And it seems like he hasn't really left his old past gimmick, like he's fighting against it. And I think it's very, very interesting how they've actually managed to pull this all off. Especially with the fact that, you've got some of these splits, where he's like love, hate, switching, and, him mentioning about his part, day of the word is psychopath. The weird thing about it is, what is so scarily eerie is, as much as he was meant to be weird and everything before, as the Eat of the World gimmick, him shaving off, getting himself a more of a cleaner look. I will state one thing: he does look in great shape, almost ready to. I can't wait to see him in the ring because he's going to be looking athletic as hell and be entertaining as hell. Can't wait for that. But the weird thing about it is, the gimmick seems more scary. It's got that. It just feels as though it's more frightening in my own mind. It just looks more clean. It's weird. It's very, very weird how they've done it. They've actually somehow made it a little bit more eerie than his previous gimmick. And all they've done is tidied him up. I think it's an absolute stroke of genius. Now, this gimmick is going to go one of two ways. This is either going to go down the route of, oh Lord, this is absolutely terrible, nothing's coming out of it, and it goes nowhere, it falls flat on its face. Or potentially, and we have to give credit to Bray Wyatt, as he has managed to, okay, he has had some flop gimmicks in the past, but he managed to recover it and come across the Eater of Worlds. Now let's see what he can do with this. Now, I actually can't wait to see him wrestling because we'll see what they've got in store. Now, as much as a lot of people might think, oh, this isn't going to work, a big part of me is actually thinking this could actually work, especially with the fact that a lot of people, as we all know, Bray Wyatt will work on a gimmick. He will, he will crack it. He'll get it all down to a T. And when all is unveiled, everyone's going to look at it and go, "Yeah, that was the gimmick. He made it his own." Now, the scary thing about it is, to one person, the gimmick could be absolute trash. To another person, it could be amazing. It always depends on the person and on how they portray that gimmick. Now, in regards to Bray Wyatt's new gimmick, my own personal view, I see this coming off as absolute gold. I actually think it will work, and it's something that I am absolutely already glued and waiting each and every single week in regards to seeing what more is revealed. Now, let's get off the Bray Wyatt topic right now and let's move on to Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch is an absolute fantastic females wrestler. The right person to be the unified WWE Women's Champion, Raw and SmackDown. I have one massive issue that WWE have done, and it just hurts my head. She's become the unified Women's Champion, right? Are they unifying it? Are they putting them separate? We didn't know at first. Now we definitely do. And what annoys me more than anything is, instead of just keeping them separate and having it defended individually on different pay-per-views and everything, no, WWE decides, no, let's just throw caution to the wind. Let's show how good Becky Lynch is. And have her fight in 2 championship matches at the next pay-per-view, at Money in the Bank. And who is she against? On Raw, Lacey Evans. And as Becky Lynch put it, Charlotte number 2. Supposedly, which I will be discussing certain other matters in regards to her. Good Lord. All I'll just say is this. It is absolute. It's just chaos. I'm just thinking to myself, Lacey Evans has not even properly settled on the main roster. Hasn't really done much on the main roster. So far has only had one official match and has been entitled to a championship match. And then on top of that, you've got her making absolute mistakes. Now, the last time you probably heard us, you heard the broadcast on the air was when we were talking about a certain promo where certain things were made slip of. Now, that's fine. You can say slip of the tongue and everything. However, when you are using social media, for crying out loud, if somebody else has made the mistake, someone's probably getting their arse chewed out right now in regards to it. If she's done it herself, she's probably getting chewed out for it. Spell check and check everything before you send it out. Have second eyes on it. Ooh, this is in regard to a certain post where she should have stated, I believe it was raising babies, I think it was. But I'm not going to state what was said, as the term can be very, very, if someone actually looks it up, ooh, good lord, that's definitely not PG. Unfortunately, she ended up accidentally stating a comment. If anybody looks it up in the Urban Dictionary or Thesaurus, they would actually find out the real meaning of what was actually said, because what the hell was she doing? Would she try and put a southern accent on her messages on Twitter? Apologies for that. That was a bad accent. I should not have done it. I apologise. All I will state is the fact that she has made a mistake. Hopefully, she corrected it, which she didn't. Hopefully, she doesn't make any more like this, and we're able to move on going forward. Now, what annoys me is we've got this much. This is just on the Lacey, the Raw side. Lacey, damn Evans. Right. That's fine. I'll say this now. She is not leaving with the Raw Championship. If they do, then they've got a lot of faith in her. And I can't see many of the fans having faith in that plan for, from WWE. Because she hasn't been impressive. If anything, she's been a step back for the Women's Revolution. Now, that is nothing aside from her personally. That was just how WWE have actually portrayed her and how many mistakes have occurred. Now, that aside, fine. I accept that she is the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship. What annoys me is for the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have once again somehow got Charlotte freaking Flair fighting Becky Lynch again. Why? Dear God, why? All I'm going to say is, we've now got Flair in the SmackDown Women's Championship run again. Other than what I have mentioned previously, she's won one match in a long while. Another one match, Why is she being given championship after championship match after championship match after championship match. Yes, we know she's a Flair. You are force-feeding it to us. You are force-feeding. And this is the problem, WWE. You think, because we're acting like, why is it Flair again? Why is it Flair again? That she's getting heat. No, it's not the heat that you want. It's genuine bewilderment. How can she have so many chances, so many times to be on the roster? Why? We should be done now. Becky should be done with Charlotte Flair. Now, I can potentially, because Becky Lynch is defending two championships on the same night, I can potentially see Becky Lynch losing one of them. And I'll be annoyed either way if she does. But at the same time, if she doesn't lose a single championship, then she's burying whoever's going for against her in the second match. Somebody's going to be looking bad either way, which is poor booking, personally, in my own opinion. I think what should have happened is Becky fight one of them, most likely Lacey, seeing as that was already brought out first, and then had Charlotte at the following pay-per-view. As much as it does annoy me that she's in the title picture again, all I'll say is, WWE, when and if Charlotte loses this match against Becky Lynch, have it that be it. We can only have the same freaking match so many times before it dies. You can only rerun the same match over and over and over and over and over again before it becomes boring. It becomes stale. You need them pair so far away from each other. They should be in a different area, damn frickin' code. Now, apologies for the rant in regards to that. I'll now move on to further other discussions and as such, but it is very hard and trying, the fact that we are once again having Charlotte Flair in a championship match again. It's almost getting as bad as, oh, Brock's taking time off, drop title. Oh, Brock's back, give him title. It's almost like that, feels like that. There's only so many times you can keep relying on the same people. WWE's got to now be, at least with Lacey, at least with her, it's a new face. At least. Instead of the same old faces. Where is your Sasha Banks? Where is your Bayley's going for it? Where is your Oscars? Where is your Kairi Sanes? You've got to build them up. And have somebody else going for the championship now. You've got to be doing it. If you don't, all you're doing is just putting out the same boring stuff that will get very boring, very stale, very quickly, and you're not allowing any other women be pushed further. And I think that is going to be it for this week. I apologise for having the soapbox out. And of course, I'm now going to be changing shift and be turning it over now to some British wrestling. And of course, I would like to state congratulations to Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy on having their second show today. And the fact that it wasn't just today, the fact that the show was sold out. Well done. Absolutely well happy for Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. I can also state, from when I last saw them, absolutely amazing wrestling academy. One I would recommend any new people who want to learn the ropes of wrestling, who wants to get involved in wrestling, not just as a wrestler, as a manager, all aspects, as I believe that is a definitely school that is complete. And the fact that they're running their own wrestling training, their own wrestling shows now, is an absolute stellar idea, as that would allow the any trainees to gain match experience. Couldn't be more happy for them. So absolutely happy. Now, last week I was at Fusion Pro Wrestling Encore, and I can also say, great show, phenomenal, especially for two matches that, I was involved in one match, but I will state, I may have taken my eye off the edge, especially with a certain topic I will be discussing shortly after. Now, I was in a triple threat match against Joey Marcus and, of course, Ashton Lover, and I can also say I had a great match, wonderful, and congratulations to Joey Marcus, who ended up becoming the new number one contender for the CCW Welsh Championship, to go ahead to eventually go against, Pastor William Averitt. I look forward to seeing that match. I believe it was T. Averitt. No, my mistake. It's not Pastor William Averitt. Pastor William T. I think it's T. Everett. I look forward to seeing how that turns out, and I hope nothing but the best in regards to the Pirate, Joey Marcus, who seems to be on his search for booty and new gold. And the reason why my focus was a bit switched is because a special match happened at Fusion Pro Wrestling, which was the fact that the King of the Kingdom Championship was being defended at that show. The first defense from Charles Kelsey. Now, originally the scheduled programming was meant to be a triple threat. However, unfortunately, the third member in the match couldn't make it. I believe that Ben was unfortunately unwell and couldn't make it, so it ended up being Charles Kelsey versus AJ Hughes for the for the King of the Kingdom Championship. And I can also say, I was watching that match from the locker room, and basically looking on, thinking to myself, as much as Kelsey has been annoying me and has been a pain in the backside of UKWA with recent events, especially involving the general manager, he was now defending the King of the Kingdom Championship, the UKWA title, at Fusion against their top dog, their top guy, the Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Champion, who has also defended his championship on our shows, of course. And I can also say, I got a massive surprise at the start. Wow. I can also say, I never saw this coming from AJ Hughes. The fact that he came out stating, well, one thing I will state that I do disagree with Kelsey is the fact that I would not be stating in another promotion how much better he is compared to their champion and everything, because do you want to get out there alive? But anyway, my point is, he came out stating, AJ Hughes wasn't well liked by the Fusion Pro Wrestling fans. However, he turned and says, I may not like all of you, But one thing I will get this straight: I will not have you, Charles Kelsey, dissing Fusion Pro Wrestling, and just to get you to shut up, I will put on the Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Championship on the line in the match as well. So essentially, we went from it being a single championship match to a double championship match, in the fact that it was champion versus champion. I looked on in absolute shocking and amazement, and I can only say, what a match. Absolute knocked it out of the park, and I can only say that both competitors gave it their all, and this is how serious both of them ended up, taking it. They ended up both knocking each other around badly, that bad. The aftermath was just absolute chaos. And just so you know, I am mentioning this now. Spoiler warning. Please jump ahead to about 2 minutes from now, as I'm about to reveal who won that match, which is incoming in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It ended in a tie. Double knockout. They both laid each other out. And I can honestly say I did not see that coming, as I thought that there was a chance of the Kingdom Championship going away from UKWA, but at the same time we also had the opportunity of having the Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Championship over to UKWA as well. But regardless of that, absolute stellar match, and that match, hopefully at some point, I believe that some should be potentially be getting released and out on YouTube in the future, as in regards to where you'll be able to find it. As soon as it is uploaded, I'm pretty sure I will be getting this out as much as possible to get it out to the public, so everybody can watch that match and see how good it was for themselves. Now, that was last week. Let's get on to this week. This week, well, last Friday, let's just say this: I've got a few bumps, a few bruises, and a few aches myself, because, well, let's just say I made a return to United Wrestling. It has been a while, and I can also say I have missed United Wrestling. But how did I make my return to United Wrestling? Well, I ended up answering the open challenge of Alton Thorne, the United Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, or correction, World Champion. And I can also say he is a difficult person to face. To say he isn't strong, he isn't fast, he isn't cunning, he isn't devious. If I said he isn't either of them, I would be lying to myself. And I can honestly say he is a tough opponent, one that no one should ever take lightly. But at the same time, I also made sure Alton Thorne knew I wasn't to be easily underestimated either, and made sure that he knew that he was in the ring with myself. Now, unfortunately, I did not end up winning that championship. Otherwise, I would be jumping for joy, song and praise and everything. What upset me was the fact that it was a hard-fought contest, and I can honestly say I was absolutely getting thrilled by, the excitement, the fact that I felt as though toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano, I wanted to find out who truly was the better man on that night. And unfortunately, Alton Thorne decided to take the easy way out by literally, as he was pinning me, using the tights to secure the win. Cheating to win. He had bent the rules in such a way to gain a very massive favourable advantage, and part of me shouldn't be upset because I should have saw it coming. But what annoys me is he has no honour. He has no true fight in him. He does not have true honour. He doesn't. He goes in there saying, "I am the champion. I am the champion." Yet he has to cheat to win. Well, I can only say I was well happy the fact that I ended up grabbing the mic and so rightfully challenging Alton Thorne to a rematch, which the crowd had all agreed with me as such. But it's up to United Wrestling Management if they deem me worthy of a rematch, because I will state it was an open challenge and it could be a one and done. But I hope that the crowd are able to convince United Wrestling Management to give me one more shot at another shot at Alton Thorne to try and become the new United Wrestling World Champion. And I look forward to finding out if they deem me worthy. Now, that aside, on the night, the King of the Kingdom champion, Charles Kelsey, was on the night, and I will say, good Lord. Unfortunately for Kelsey, he ended up having, because he lost at the last United show, he ended up having to, last month, having to wear a dress, leaving. Now, management made Charles Kelsey to come out wearing the dress, but absolutely shocking that was. I can also say, made me laugh from ear to ear. I know he is the King of the Kingdom champion, but you've got to have a bit of a laugh. And if you can't laugh at yourself, you'll cry. But anyway, that aside, I can also say, wow. He was not defending the King of the Kingdom championship on that night. In fact, he was aiming to be adding more gold to his waist, and the fact that he was taking on the United Wrestling British champion, which is none other than the malicious one, Paul Malin. What a hard fought contest, one I watched literally from pillar to post. I did not know who was going to win. However, it ended up being that Paul Malin got the better of Charles Kelsey, who was still declaring himself as the only true British champion. Which, as much as I can say, as much as I care, I don't always agree with Kelsey. I don't mind stating that, he is the King of the Kingdom champion. He is the king. But anyway, moving on from all that, last night I was at Academy Pro Wrestling. Wow. That was a show last night. Academy Pro Wrestling, crazy like a fox, and I can honestly say, top to bottom, not a single bad match on the card, and I actually managed to get to see somebody on that show who I never thought I'd actually get to see wrestle in person, and I am honoured to have met him. Absolutely amazing, wonderful guy. Especially as much as I said, the show was called Academy Pro Wrestling Crazy Like a Fox, which is also the same name of the certain book, Crazy Like a Fox, written by Liam O'Rourke. Definitely check that one out, especially seeing as it's the story on Flying Brian Pillman at Crazy Like a Fox Academy Pro Wrestling event. I managed to get to see Brian Pillman Jr. wrestling. And good Lord, is that man talented. Part of me was just watching on in awe, and I'm thinking to myself, why haven't WWE already snapped him up? A part of me is annoyed that WWE haven't snapped him up. At the same time, I am so glad they haven't snapped him up, because he is wrestling in front of me right now, and I am absolutely thrilled, entertained, and loving it. And I can also say Academy Pro Wrestling, it was an amazing show. Recommend anybody go see it. And I can also say, if you haven't seen Academy Pro Wrestling show yet, as of yet, why not get your arse down there? As I can also say, if I ever have to miss one, I'm not missing it because of something else. I'd have to miss it for a good damn reason, because I always turn up to their shows, and each time I am always entertained, which is one of the major reasons why I am always stating every time I'm on the broadcast, always check out your local shows. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am just going to go on to one more topic, which is, I know a few weeks ago I announced that UKWA had some footage come in. However, I have not been able to reveal that footage as of yet, because there's, as I stated, there were some glitches on the software. At the same time, UKWA we've had a bit of a trail behind, and of course, we will be getting, UKWA will be getting that footage out soon, and of course, match announcements are coming soon, and hopefully she'll be coming this coming week, be revealed. So as such, please keep an eye out on social media, of course, for the matches to be revealed soon. And with that, I'm just going to state for next week topics that we're going to be discussing. Possibly a rehash of what I've already discussed this week, but all I'll just say is, instead of me giving a topic, I'll just state we will be returning to our usual scheduled program. And of course, with that, I'm now moving on to the plugs, which I will now be taking a quick breath, which of course, as I believe, has gotten a little bit longer. Because I believe I've got 2 additional ones this week now, or added now from now on. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please, of course, as always, check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check them out on all social media. Please check out UKWM, also known as UK Wrestling Media. Of course, always check out on all of their social media website, all social media. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy, as they are an absolute fantastic quality wrestling academy, and one that I would recommend anybody to check out, especially with their beginner classes are on Monday, £10 per class, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. As for the locations, please check them out. Please check out them on their social media, as you'll find out their location details. I, of course, will recommend Academy Pro Wrestling, as they do actually have, that is an absolute fantastic academy, wrestling academy as well, one that I recommend personally as well. I believe they actually have some classes on almost every Friday, so please give that a check out as well. Please check out JG Printing and Stitching. They do absolutely amazing work, especially for printing, and of course polo shirts. Well, why would I mention polo shirts? Oh wait, I've actually got a custom one for the Burning Truth, and I absolutely love it. Of course, please check out charities like Mind, and of course Changes for Health and Wellbeing, which is, I believe, based in Stoke-on-Trent. Please check out these charities. it's close to my heart and ones that I absolutely love to support and recommend anyone to check out. And one additional one I'm just throwing in right now, which is, of course, please check out Dougie Mac as well. And ladies and gentlemen, please check out Team 4-Star, of course, with their Dragon Ball Z Abridged series, as we are having to wait for the new season, I believe, but cannot wait for that. I'm almost ecstatic. Please check out bands, of course, like New Breed and Kamens. Please, please, please. They are absolutely amazing and highly recommend them for anyone to check out, of course. Please check out Botchamania. You're welcome, Matthew. And, of course, I've got to fit it in, Matthew. Please check out WrestleCrap as well. As I believe John Bull would be normally stating, the gentleman who runs it. You're welcome, of course, as well. Of course, I've added one more, which is OSW Review. And I believe today is their 8-year anniversary. So congratulations. And that is one show I believe is on YouTube, but of course is also on other locations like Daily Motion, of course. I would highly recommend one that has actually had myself and a few friends of mine absolutely laughing in stitches, especially with "What's bar are they?" But you need to see it for yourself to be absolutely entertained. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we have a certain gentleman from Botchamania also making appearances on OSW Review on as well. Please, of course, please check out Phil DeFranco on YouTube, as he always brings interesting news. Please check out When Fandom Strikes on YouTube, an amazing voice. And of course, please check her out on TikTok, because some of the actual content on there is absolutely amazing. Please check out Luke Moto, who is still doing his vlogging. Please check out, for all comic book, geek, Marvel, DC, news, interest, and everything, please check out Geek of the Week podcast, which is probably booming right now, especially because of Marvel Endgame. Now, I know not a lot of you probably realise I am a massive comic book geek fan. I will admit, I have to. It's one of my bread and butters, and I can also say that Marvel Endgame was amazing. As much as I know people are going to say, we can talk about it now, I'm still not putting out spoilers, because if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you are a comic book fan and you haven't watched it yet, why not go watch it right now? And of course, check out Geek of the Week to be able, to join in on their discussions as well. And of course, another new additional to the list is of course Kayfabe Music UK. If anybody is interested in acquiring some custom made music, please give them a check out. I can honestly say, great affordable prices, and they actually have a unique style and edge to them. So please check them out. And of course, as always, please check out Turnbuckle TV, where you can check out many local British wrestling promotion on there. Of course, UK being one of them, United Wrestling being another, Fusion Pro Wrestling being another, and many others. And of course, please always check out your local wrestling shows. Just to name a few, please check out United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, and many more, which I'll just state as well. I believe that Pro Wrestling for You also had a show last Friday as well, and congratulations as well on having 252 fans. Wow! Congratulations. Couldn't be any more happy to see so many people turn up to local wrestling. And of course, as always, please check, last but not least, self-plug, which is of course, check out The Burning Truth, website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com, where as always, you could be potentially listening to me live right now, or you could be listening to this as a past broadcast episode, past interview. We haven't done one in a while, a show review, so we have got some past show reviews written and of course also audio. We have got merchandise on there, so you can get some snazzy t-shirts and some great office mugs. As always, I know I mentioned several times in the past, I have got a blog on there, but unfortunately that is on hiatus at the moment, but as soon as it's out and updated, I will try to keep a regular scheduled blog going as much as I can. And of course, there's also a contact page on there. We can get in touch with myself and John Ballore, and we have also got a links page on there where some of the ones that we've already mentioned as shout outs on here are on there. But please, 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 let me just state this as a fact. Any of the websites you do click on the links page, we cannot be held responsible, because we are not. We officially state we cannot be held responsible for any external links or sources. All we state is, please be careful of the content that you might be viewing, as what if it is unsuitable, unfortunately that is not up to us to update, as such as we cannot be held responsible, as we cannot control that content ourselves. And of course, please check out our social media as always, like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course Twitter, with the Twitter handle being a little bit different than the others, which I'll spell it out for you, which is WRESLING4THWALL. And of course, please check out some past episodes of The Burning Truth on Spotify. And with that, that is now a wrap up for this week. Thank you very much for listening to me on this episode, especially with me being myself, which has been, it's quite interesting that I've done it on my own. It's been a while since I've done it on my own, but thank you very much for listening to me. It does mean the world to me, the fact that you listen in on, to the broadcast. Thank you so much, and hopefully we get to have, instead of it just being me talking to you, we actually have a general conversation. So if you are interested in getting in touch, please message me either on Facebook or on all the social media, or even email us, of course. Please just join the conversation. And with that is a wrap up for this week. Hopefully we will be back next week, and I'll probably have John Ballore with me. Fingers crossed, hopefully. And we will be back to our original scheduled programming, of course. And with that is a wrap up for this week. But please, everyone, stay well, stay safe, and of course, as always, please check out your local wrestling. Until then, I'll catch you later.